In today's video, I'm gonna break down my no BS approach to dropping that stubborn belly fat over the course of the next 4 weeks. If you're in total fat loss mode and it's just that last little bit of fat that's hanging on for dear life, this video is gonna be perfect for you. So if you wanna drop that stubborn belly fat, like this video and let's just jump right into the game plan. All right, so the first thing when it comes to dropping belly fat, especially if we have a deadline of the next 4 weeks, we need to be at the right starting point. It would be completely irresponsible of me to tell you, yeah, you're gonna get rid of all that stubborn fat if you're like 30% body fat. You wanna make sure you're at least within striking distance. And what is striking distance? I would say anywhere from 12 to 15% body fat. And this once again depends on your genetic structure, your genetic makeup, where do you hold your body fat the most? Are you capable of actually sticking with a plan? There's a lot of individual factors, but the number one thing is we want to be close, right? I don't want you to have to lose 40 pounds to start seeing some change in your stomach and tell you you'd be able to do that in the next 4 weeks. Just doesn't make any sense. We have plenty of client testimonials, guys who have come in 30% body fat, 40% body fat, and by no means would I ever promise, hey, in 30 days, you're gonna get ripped. It just doesn't work like that. But once they reach a certain point within striking distance, then yeah, it's just a matter of putting the pedal to the metal and pushing through some of that last stubborn fat. So tip number one is just to make sure that you're at the right starting spot. Typically, it's anywhere from 12 to 14% body fat, ideally maybe even a little bit lower than that. It just comes down to where your body holds the fat the most. Most guys, it's the midsection. So if you just got that last little bit at the lower abs and maybe just a little bit covering your abs, this video is gonna make perfect sense. All right, so let's break down your workout schedule for the next 30 days. Now, you might be surprised, but I'm gonna tell you, you don't necessarily need to train more. Sometimes you might even need to pull back a little bit. And why is that? Well, as we get deeper and deeper into a cut and our bodies start kind of fighting against us a little bit, we're getting into elite levels of body fat. And by the way, this is exactly what our guys go through inside of our VIP program. They come in for 90 days, they get rid of a ton of fat, and they start getting closer and closer to that like elite 10% or less body fat. And it gets harder and harder, right? Because your body's like, I don't want to be this lean necessarily. I don't even need to be this lean necessarily, but you're doing it for aesthetic purposes. So you got to have some tricks up your sleeve. And one of the things that I suggest sometimes is cutting back on your training, because training could potentially increase your appetite, which could make it harder to stick to your nutrition. The big name of the game here when it comes to that last little bit of body fat is maintaining your muscle. We're not really trying to build a ton of new muscle. We just don't even have the fuel or the recovery for it at this point in a cut. If we're digging into that last little bit of body fat, we're just trying to hold on to muscle. So we don't need as much training volume to hold on to muscle. If we're trying to build muscle, yeah, we might increase intensity, we might increase volume, you might train an extra day or two. But ultimately, when you're trying to cut, sometimes I have guys go from training 4 or 5 days a week to training 3 days a week just to keep their appetite under control. So my suggestion over the next 30 days is one of two splits, either a 3-day split, which is push, pull, legs, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a 4-day split of upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, something like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't need to do a ton of volume. You should be in and out of the gym in about 45 minutes to an hour. If you want actual details on how this is done, I would go check out our VIP transformation system. It's in the description of this video. You can schedule a conversation. We can show you exactly how to set up your entire training program built specifically for you. But at the end of the day, those are the two splits I would recommend for the next 30 days, just to keep things in check, not overdo it. Keep the muscle that you have, but keep your appetite at bay. Let's talk about your 30-day cardio plan to drop belly fat. All right, when it comes to cardio, there's a couple levels to this game. The first one is the foundation. So the next 30 days, we need to set a daily step goal that you're gonna hit non-negotiable. And this isn't gonna be your run-of-the-mill 10,000 steps a day. We're going to increase that by a decent margin. I'm gonna tell you 12,000 to 14,000 steps per day is really the holy grail when it comes to seeing noticeable changes in your physique just from walking. Now, this is gonna probably require that you carve out some time each day to go out for a walk. You're probably not gonna be able to hit 12,000 to 14,000 steps a day just through lifestyle. Some of you might be able to, but it's few and far between because most of you don't have any kind of job or career, or you don't run a business where you're running around all day long. You're typically at a desk. You might be moving a little bit, but ultimately you're gonna need to carve out some walking time. The best time to walk, in my opinion, is right after you eat. So besides getting up, going for a walk in the morning, you're gonna eat a few times throughout the day. So I would carve out, 10 to 15 minutes after a meal to just go walk. This will help on a couple different levels. Number one, burning the calories, right? Number two, helping with digestion. And then number three, avoiding some of that post-meal like lull, right? Where your energy kind of comes down and you just don't feel that energized. So the baseline of the cardio, 12 to 14,000 steps a day. What I'm also gonna tell you is to implement some scheduled cardio sessions that you take off your step tracker and you don't count towards your daily steps. 2 to 3 sessions a week, 20 to 30 minutes of getting into high zone 2 training. Zone 2 is your heart rate, right? Your heart rate getting up into areas where you're gonna start to burn more calories, tap into more body fat, and actually push your cardiovascular system a little bit more. My favorite machines for zone 2 cardio are the step mill and the incline treadmill. What I would do is carve out 2 to 3 sessions for about 20 to 30 minutes where you're aiming for a calorie burn on the machine. So in some cases it might be burn 200 calories, 300 calories, and then you're gonna increase it week over the next 4 weeks. So if week number 1, I'm doing 3 sessions of burning 200 calories on the incline treadmill or the step mill, the next week I might bump that to 300 calories burned and then 400 calories burned. This isn't necessarily sustainable. This is just me giving you the blueprint to really tap through and burn some of that belly fat that's stubborn that you're holding on to over the next month. So you have your baseline, 12 to 14,000 steps a day. A few times a week, take off your step tracker, do scheduled cardio sessions, put your step tracker back on, hit your step goal throughout the day, but I don't want that scheduled cardio session to add to your steps. I want that to be completely separate. That is your cardio game plan. Let's talk about nutrition. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see guys make when it comes to a shorter, like more rapid fat loss strategy is going crazy extreme with their diet. I'm not gonna tell you to go crazy extreme here. I am gonna share with you a couple strategies that will help you lower your calories in a way that's more sustainable. The first one is a weekly longer fast. Either doing a 24-hour fast, or if you're a little bit more advanced and can handle it, a 36-hour fast. Now this is just my advice. It's something you're gonna wanna clear with your doctor before you partake in stuff like this. So take it from me, don't jump into something without making sure you're medically cleared to do it. Number one is the 24-hour fast. So every week, Sunday night to Monday night, you're gonna fast 24 hours. This includes the sleep that you'll do Sunday. And then Monday night, you're just gonna have one meal, typically under 1,000 calories. 700 to 800 calories is the range that we're looking for here. But that 24-hour fast helps you start the week in a bigger calorie deficit. And then you're gonna stick to your normal calorie intake the rest of the week before repeating that again every Sunday night. Now, what should your normal calorie intake be? I'm gonna tell you that in a second, but first, let me explain the 36-hour fast. The 36-hour fast is you pushing through Monday night, so you wouldn't eat at all on Monday, and your next meal would be Tuesday morning before you go to the gym. That extra, a little bit of time, that extra 12 hours that includes Monday night, some of the morning on Tuesday, and then of course your Monday sleep is gonna build an even bigger calorie deficit, right? So you're going into your week way ahead of the game, and then your only job is to get back to your normal calories starting Tuesday morning. Normal calories for the next 30 days is gonna be about 11 times your goal body weight. So if you're 200 pounds and you wanna be 180 pounds, you would take 180 times 11. What's that? That's 1,800 plus, so it's like 1,970 calories, I think. Don't quote me on it. It might be 1,960 calories. I'm not a math major, but take your goal body weight, multiply it by 11. That's gonna be your normal calories, and then you're gonna make sure you're getting 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight as well. So in that example, you'd wanna get 180 grams of protein per day. That's gonna be your normal intake. It's gonna be aggressive, so you could potentially have some hunger issues going on. If you're super hungry, the one strategy that I want you to implement is my sparkling water and fruit strategy, all right? So you're allowed to do this up to, let's call it once a day, if you're having crazy hunger that you just wanna grab something and you just don't wanna mess up your diet. So we're not gonna add this to our calorie total for the day, but I'm gonna allow you to have a piece of fruit, typically like an apple, with a big bottle of sparkling water. This is a craving killer, all right? So you're eating your normal meals that you've set up, you're sticking to your calories, but you're like, man, I can't go to sleep, I'm so hungry, I gotta have something. Grab a big apple, grab a big bottle of sparkling water, crush it, and I promise you, it'll give you enough satiation just to push through that temporary period where you're a little bit more hungry than normal. That's a craving killer strategy that will help you stick to this more aggressive fat loss plan over this next 30 days. All right, so your next step from here, if you want to dive deeper into some of the things around fasting and some of the other strategies I implement when I'm trying to see some more rapid fat loss. I put together a rapid fat loss intermittent fasting video. That would be a great video to watch next if your primary target is to burn belly fat over the next 4 weeks. I'll just say this because it has to be said, and I know that you've probably heard me say it 100 times before. You can't spot reduce belly fat, right? So if you're going into this thinking, oh, if I just do all these things Josiah said, I'm gonna only lose belly fat. You're gonna lose fat all over your body. You can't really control where the body fat comes from. All you can control is your habits, your routines, and your commitment to the process. If you need help with that, if you're out there and you're like, man, I'm busy with my career, I need something to keep me accountable without sacrificing my entire social life and making me feel like I can't enjoy my family time and get stressed out with all my work stuff I have going on, but I want something that fits into all of that, that gives me the results that I'm absolutely after. Check the description. I have a link that you can go to right now. You can learn all about our program. You can schedule a conversation with either me or one of our coaches where we'll map out a fully customized program just for you. It's called our VIP 3M system. Go check it out today. It's built for the busy professional just like you, which is what I live and breathe every single day. So I understand where you're coming from, what you're going through, and what you ultimately need to be successful. Go check that out, and I'll talk to you very soon. Life moves fast. Make it count. Peace.